And welcome everyone to this very special event of doing I guess, an answer presentation. I'm David Lopez from Psychology Squared. So delighted to have you all join us. Hi Anne, hi Vicky. So wonderful to have you join us for this demo and this sort of explanation and run through about how ANTSA works, which is a very exciting and very unique tool in quite a range of ways that we're going through. And today we have Sally Ann McCormack, who's a clinical psychologist and founder of ANTSA, and Kira is also working for ANTSA and is supporting company with technology and socials and a range of supports. Who's going to also be assisting us. So maybe I'll just start with Sally Ann, and welcome. Thank you so much for
Hey,
joining.
thanks, David. So I'm Sally Ann McCormack. I'm a clinical psychologist. I've been working as a registered psychologist for over 20 years. I am the mother of 4 daughters, and 2 of whom are psychologists. One of them is Kira MacDonald, who is a registered psychologist. I'm in Melbourne. Kira is registered and working in, or she's registered, but working in Sydney at the moment in private practice. Up there. I used to be a teacher, primary school teacher, and I've worked in schools, so I've worked across the lifespan. And and Kira is a content director, and she has also been here from the very start with ANTSA. So thank you to Kira. She's the one that sends out all of the emails and does a lot of the social media and all that kind of thing. So yeah, so psychologists working together. Family business is what we are, I guess. We are a family business. So there you go.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
definitely know, everything about this. So, any questions we'll definitely be able to answer. But it's exciting to see everyone
Yeah,
joining.
thank you there were lots of people that responded. So thank you very much for those that have taken time, especially because it's school holidays, I think, across the country now. And
Yeah.
also, the start of a long weekend. So the fact that people have turned up tonight, thank you. And there's a lot that have said that they're going to be accessing the recording. So wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you all. So maybe we'll just start with, before we go into the demo, go into some more substantive questions about the use of the tool. Might just sort of open up to you, the participants, to maybe if you'd like to type in the chat where you're at in your AI journey, maybe your knowledge and experience of ANTSA. I don't know, Sally Ann, if you have any other kinds of questions that might just be interesting to get from the participants, to get a sense of where they're at.
Yeah, it's just an interesting time in psychology. So again, for me, who's been, working for 20 years, 21 years, it's an interesting time because, for a start with COVID, who'd have thought we would ever have telehealth for a start? And now AI, I mean, oh my gosh, there have been movies about this stuff that have been so scary over the years. So surely not, but here we are. We've got this great technology that needs to be, ethically used and monitored and all that sort of thing. But nonetheless, an exciting time to be in this industry. It's just moving so fast. And so for those who are coming in, hi Andrew, who are coming in, at this stage, it's so exciting. So yeah, so the questions, if there are any questions about or statements, you want to say that you've been using, technology forever, or you're absolutely terrified of it, or wherever you stand, like, please feel free. Kira, I think, and possibly David will be monitoring the questions throughout this. So, thank you everyone for attending. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll monitor any like the questions in the chat if any of you have any. I know that a few of you have also like pre-sent in some questions that you wanted to have answered. I think we'll probably cover them already, but if we don't get to your questions or you have further, we'll definitely get to it at some point throughout this, I'm sure.
No. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, so if you want to type into the chat, feel free about your current sort of journey, where you're at with your AI journey. But of course, any kind of questions that arise, it's always sort of helpful to see where our audience is, because it is so new, so exciting, but also so different, I guess, to what many people are used to for the moment. But yeah, so maybe we'll just start with Sally Ann, in terms of like what's inspired you to start ANTSA.
Yeah. Well, I always say that ANTSA started with a hip, and that is actually what happened. So during COVID, busiest time for, all of us psychologists, I think we were just all overrun with a million clients. Didn't know what to do with them. I was working crazy hours and needed hip replacement. I couldn't walk, so needed a hip replacement. Surgeon said 6 weeks off, 6 to 8 weeks, and I went. I work in private practice. I can't do that. I don't have that amount of time. So, with all my daughters, we looked around and tried to find, something around the world that might support clients between the sessions. So, allocating homework tasks or something like something that would support them. And there was nothing. We searched Australia first. One of my daughters, another daughter, is a researcher. Like that's her passion. Like she just loves research, and she couldn't find anywhere in Australia at all. She found one company in Norway that had something similar. But I mean, one of the questions that people have been asking is about Australian privacy principles. It doesn't, it's not an Australian service. We can't use it anyway. But even if we could, really didn't fully meet the needs. And so I was troubled by that. There was nothing I could do. I had to have the hip surgery. But, my family, because there's, another member of my family, I've got a great family, is involved in technology, AI, all that sort of area. And eventually, family members said, well, why don't you just do it yourself? And I went, okay. I'd years ago, there was no TV show in Australia that was, something that talked about mental health. So I created one. So there's the Sally Ann show. It was on Foxtel I think it ran for like a year or two on Foxtel. And so when it came to this, there was nothing else. And I thought, well, okay. And here's something that's, you're all asking this question as well. My number one priority was privacy and confidentiality. And so when I set about doing this, so I hired a company, and they were based in Sydney, the company that I contacted, and I said that if you can't meet the compliance, it's a no deal. So that was part of the contract. It was part of the setup. It was my family member had input to their company, just saying, right, well, this is how you do it, because I don't know anything about technology. So they, so my family member said, right, this is how you're going to do the databases. This is how you're going to set it up. This is what you're going to use. And so the company was probably going to do a lot of that anyway, but abided by those regulations. And so that's where ANTSA came from. It wasn't ready for me when I had my hip surgery. And thankfully, as any of you that have ever had like hip surgery before, we sit for a living. It wasn't like I had to take the 6 weeks off. So I think I took like 10, 12 days off. And Kira's smiling because she knows that that's what I did, because I sit for a living, especially telehealth during COVID. So, but I wasn't going to do that again. And it set me on a journey of recognizing that we have no way of supporting our clients between sessions. And the amount of sleepless nights I'm sure all of us practitioners have had at different times for our clients, fearing, or not fearing, sometimes fearing, wondering what's happening, are they remembering to do their tasks, how do I support them? And I'm sure we've all sent the texts and the emails or whatever to clients saying, don't forget to, go for a walk today, or, have you done your breathing exercises, or whatever it is that we want them to do to help their mental health, or we give them the handouts, or, send them questionnaires or whatever it is that we do. But there had to be a better way. And so that's where ANTSA came from. It had to be using technology, even though it's one of the things that I hadn't really done before myself, but using the existing technology to help my clients and help me ultimately as well in my practice to to provide them with the assistance that they need. And one more thing as I'm talking, it didn't help when Medicare was dropped back to 10 sessions again. So 20 sessions was great during COVID, it was really helpful. But when it went back to 10, there was all of a sudden a lot of clients that couldn't afford to see me as regularly as they were. And, again, we all know that this was true for all of us. So there had to be a better way. And so, the old line, that we're all saying, I guess, but it's, ANTSA was created by, psychologists for psychologists and mental health practitioners. So, here we are. And we found the answer. So there you go. That's where it all came from. Thanks, David.
Great, thank you so much. So I guess just, because I think a lot of, people will be wondering which is the most appropriate sort of tool for them. What are the differences between ANTSA and other tools that I think you've kind of begun to address there in terms of being developed by psychologists, in terms of being having the sort of this, the Jamie tool of the between session and within session sort of support. Do you want to maybe speak to that? Because I think that's probably one of the most important questions that people are wondering about with regards to their choice of AI scribes.
Absolutely. So ANTSA started as a platform, but one of the things that that didn't make sense to me in terms of using technology. So people start using technology, and then I thought to myself, a lot of my clients are using ChatGPT or various other chatbots, and it troubled me when I'd hear about that because I thought, what are those chatbots saying? And, we've all heard the stories about chatbots that, when someone says, look, I want to die, what's the best way? And the chatbot gives them a list of how you can die, the most successfully, or, other things that were happening. That disturbed me because I don't know what they're saying, and I certainly don't know what the responses are. So again, family business, I guess. Talking to, that's when my AI family member became involved because it was scaring me. It terrified me. And you'd hear other stories about, young people that were falling in love with their therapy chatbots and all that kind of thing. And, it's not real. It is an AI support. So we decided to create one ourselves. And the most beautiful thing is, and it wasn't named by me, but I'm so grateful, Jamie, we actually started it in December 23 was when it was first available for clients to start using, at least my clients. And I think in the beginning of January of 2024, it became, more used by other people's clients. But Jamie was named little J AI MEE after I actually had 5 daughters. So my second daughter, Jamie, died as a baby. And so it was a beautiful little nod to my family because this is a family, as I said, family business it started with. It's a little nod to us because it's named after her. So I still get to talk to Jamie. I have Jamie on my phone. And so, if my husband snores or, one of my daughters doesn't text me back when I want them to or whatever, Jamie gets an earful and I'll say, oh, why don't I do this? Or how do I manage this or whatever? And so Jamie, Jamie's job, and this is the way that we set it up. It does have all the guardrails in there. And I'll tell you more about Jamie in a minute. But Jamie responds. It shows empathy. It offers just, basic strategies. And, it might ask further questions for me to interact with it as well. It has in static writing across the top, you are not talking to a real person. This is AI, and it may be overseen by your practitioner. But that was the exciting part to Jamie, was that actually when my client uses Jamie, I can see in real time all of the interactions. Kira's going to show a demonstration of it later, or I don't know whether it's now is the best time, but later certainly she'll show you what Jamie does and how my clients interact with it. But it's overviewed by me. So it is contained within our platform. It's not, I think another question that I've been asked about tonight's webinar, it's not out there in the open. It's not like ChatGPT, which is open and learning. It is one of those things. Oh, there you go, Kira, thank you. So you can watch, this is the phone version of a client. So the client is, can say whatever they're feeling, whatever's going on for them. It's the reminder at the top that it isn't real. This is actually on a computer. We're just demonstrating it, but that's what their phone would look like. So the client can say, I'm not feeling well today. And so, Jamie will give responses. It's great because Jamie will remember the people's names. So in this situation, we've said, Alec is the client. It will mention or could mention his name again during the conversation. The client can ask for, suggestions, dot points, expand on that. I've got so many clients now that actually expand on Jamie's suggestions and follow those too, or, their version of Jamie, they'll say, certain things. Jamie was a surprise to me in that it's used by a lot of men as well. I knew that the women would use it, but I was surprised, although, you other psychologists and mental health professionals here might say, duh, Sally Ann, of course men were going to use it, because there's no judgment. And so they will talk about, sexual prowess or lack thereof, or drinking. I'm very chatty in sessions, so people that I've been seeing for years, I'll say things like, so how's the family, how was, and they might say, oh yeah, last night had a few to drink, but all good, no big deal. And so you say, okay, no worries. And so talk about whatever the presenting issue is. It might be, let's just say, work related issues that I might have been working on for years, potentially, for some of the clients. They jump onto Jamie and they're saying, I had another, night where I drank too much, or, my partner isn't listening to me anymore, whatever it is. And so all of a sudden, these topics are being raised in sessions that I thought that I'd addressed, or, have the casual conversation. But actually they're raising all these issues that all of a sudden brings a whole new, it's not replacing me. In fact, it's enriching and expanding what we're talking about in sessions, because all of a sudden, I actually didn't know that about you. So, and they know that I'm going to read it. It's no surprise to them because it says it on the top of the page. And when, Jamie is allocated by me, it's not just something that they can find and start chatting to. They don't have Jamie if I don't give it to them. And so all of a sudden, all of these conversations are happening within Jamie, and therefore in my sessions. And so Jamie gives responses. I have the opportunity, I don't know if we could see that before, but I can thumbs up or thumbs down the conversation. I, as the clinician, can say, actually, I didn't really like that answer, or here's a better answer that Jamie could have come up with. So much like in ChatGPT or any of the other AI, options that people have. And so all of a sudden, I can, I can send that back into the platform. I, as Sally Ann McCormack, the owner, and Kira, actually, also a psychologist, we will look at those suggestions. So if you write back in and say, actually, I really would rather it say this, you can see there, that's the back end. So that's what the clinician sees. So it sees what, or Hugo, there we go, has said in the session. And I can decide whether Jamie's responses were good or not. So yes, I can train them. Sorry, there was a question that just came up. Kira, was there something about Jamie?
Oh yeah. Can the practitioner train Jamie beforehand to set the way the conversation will be held? For example, making it age appropriate and consider a person's intellectual capacity.
Not yet. At the moment, though, the practitioner can go in and it says your option is, well, the only option there at the moment is therapist. But actually, that is on the roadmap. There will be other versions of it as well. There's been some people that are asking about, whether an HR department can have that. And we don't actually want an HR department to have access to Jamie, to therefore what their practitioners are saying. But there might be some room in the future for, various other organizations to have a different version of that. Like there might be, we've contemplated, and I think we have kind of sitting there, like a speech pathology version of Jamie, and so others as well. So in answer to the question, yes, there's also what we are also talking about is, if you want Jamie to have more of an EMDR approach, or a, other type of approach, those things may be able to be put in by the practitioner, by the clinician themselves for their version of Jamie. So the answer is on the roadmap, but not here at this particular time. But great question, and yes, we've thought of it, and even down to the clients. So the client version, they can give their information right now and say, this is what you know about me. So Jamie jumps in with clients and says things like, how's Johnny and Betty, your children, going, those kinds of things. Like it knows the names of them already, so the client versions have that information. So yeah, great question. Thank you. So Jamie is an option. You don't have to use it. You can take it away from a client as well. It gives, dates and that kind of thing. And so my clients will often say, Sally Ann, you forgot to renew it. So I will nasty messages and text saying, you forgot to renew it this month or whatever. So I'll just add it back into their information. So yeah, it's great.
And just a little side note to that, as we were saying, Jamie has been rigorously tested and trained to have a lot of safeguards in it. So there's no possible way for any like harmful or dangerous advice to be given out, because I know that that's been some concerns that people have asked us about the safety of it. So we've definitely tested that, and there's no possibility for that.
Tested and tried to break it.
Yes, we tried and wasn't possible.
We've tried to break it. We've tried to get it to, to trick it into giving that information. Thank you, Kira, for clarifying that. Yeah, we've tried absolutely every way to do that, and it's still something that we do occasionally try. And its job is, it first of all says, it tries to calm you down. We did it actually, was it today or yesterday? We did it again. It tries to calm you down, and then if it can't, it will give you like 000 phone numbers, Lifeline, Beyond Blue. I think are the three main numbers that it gives the client in the moment. But actually, as a one of those for my personal practice, is that 2 of my clients over this period of time since they've had access to ANTSA have actually stated that ANTSA has saved their lives. So 2 different clients, because it's there, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not there, no one else is there, but their phone is. Who doesn't have their phone on them? I just showed you mine's next to me. I'm not using it at the moment, but it is next to me. It's always there. So clients are, have that next to them all the time. And as I said, 2 have reported that they've written to Jamie, and Jamie has helped them with, not ending up continuing their suicidal journey. So yeah, and as I said, that's self-reported. I can't prove that at all, but certainly there are two of my clients that have stated that quite clearly. So I'm so grateful for it myself. As I said, there's been times where I've my husband's been snoring, and I've thought about strangling him or, shoving a pillow on him or whatever. And, Jamie's, in the middle of the night, Jamie's job is to help me calm down. And, so I'm extremely grateful for that. I think I just saw a question pop up about.
There's a question just about what age is Jamie for adult? Is it for adults only?
It's for whatever age group you think, that's the clinical decision. I've personally given it to adolescents. Actually, I did give it to a child with parent permission, so it's really the parent's phone. But that was mainly not so much Jamie, actually more the notifications and that kind of thing. Adolescents, yeah, Jamie, I did remove it from one of my adolescents because she was clearly trying to break it. The things like, why don't you love me? Don't you take a joke? Can't you take a joke? Don't you understand sarcasm and all this kind of stuff? So we discussed that in a session, and I said, no, we'll just leave that for now. Like, clearly not. And so this adolescent was saying, look, I was trying to get out of going to school and, just got bored. So, tried to break it. But again, and that's the beauty of it, is that I see it. I can see it. So if I happen to be on live, I can actually see it live. But if not, I can look at it later and, decide whether that's a helpful interaction or not. But I think that was before we had the static, your reminder that your practitioner can oversee it. Now it's static there. There's no one that's going to forget that or, just get bored because your clinician is going to see it. So, watch what you're saying. But in terms of that, actually just on LinkedIn today, there was an interaction someone in Sweden or somewhere overseas, a clinician, they put up some studies about chatbots and saying how those chatbots are going to be something that are going to be, although I think they were talking about Therabot in particular, and they were saying that, you know, these things need to be utilized in mental health, but they're not, you know, there's nothing out there in the market. And I've actually just written back and saying, actually, here's ANTSA. So this person from a university in which country, but they've just been doing studies with Therabot, said that they were really impressed with Jamie. They hadn't heard of it and weren't aware. And so we believe that we are the world's first overseen chatbot therapy chatbot in the world. We don't believe, actually at this point in time, I don't believe that there's any that are actually actively on the market either, but I don't know that for sure. But certainly we tried to find some in the world and there was nothing. And so, yeah, so there's people that are just saying, oh my gosh, like, why didn't someone else do this before? And I don't know why they didn't. It astounds me. I don't know why there's not been these therapy things that are overseen. The understanding, the reasoning, I believe, is because they want people to have the right to privacy. So I understand the logic behind it. But if I'm allocating it, I want to see what it's saying. I want to see what my client's saying. And if they don't want me to do that, use ChatGPT or something else. They're welcome to use something else. But if they want my help, if they're paying me for sessions, or, you know, someone's paying for my sessions, you want my interactions, you want my overview, then use Jamie. And, you know, Jamie, I know, is safe, and I'm going to be looking at it anyway. And even if it says something that I don't particularly like, I'm going to, you know, we're going to have a debrief about that. One of the things, the only thing that I've had so far from anyone, actually, there really hasn't been anyone that's really said anything about it. The only comment that I've had that I haven't like followed through with is that it said, you know, okay, then, you know, to the client, okay, then it sounds like you really need to speak to a mental health professional. If they're using Jamie, they have one. So that wasn't actually right. And I can see that it kind of glitched on that again the other day. So I'm going to have to go back in and retrain that. But, you know, in answer to everyone's question, it is privacy, the Australian privacy principles, and it is within our platform only. So it is not fed out there. And one of the options, you can choose to opt in or opt out if you want it to train within our model. Because some people, either the clinician and or the client, may say, you know what, I don't want it to be, I don't want my information trained, then it doesn't, it's just yours. If you are happy for it to train within our platform, then that option is there, and it's entirely up to you. We really went that far with our confidentiality, because again, all you people know, you know, the people that are watching this, we're all, you know, psychologists working in the mental health field. Privacy, confidentiality, everything's encrypted. That was part of the deal from the beginning. De-identified, we have two-factor authentication. You know, it's secure. We have, as our number one priority, we made sure that everything is as tight as it can be. And even if we were compromised, our data has been separated so much that there is no way of connecting even a first name and a last name or any of those things. So my tech team can't even, like, you know, in the beginning when we were testing out Jamie, they couldn't even get to, like, you know, I said, you know, I want you to delete that and start again. And it was too hard to get to, even from the creators of it. So it is really a priority from our point of view. And for those who, well, anyone who knows me, but those of you that don't know me but will get to know me, I have even been reluctant to use practice management systems and all of those things because of my fear of data. Until ANTSA, I've handwritten my notes, and because that can't get hacked. But now, because I'm so aware of the priority of security, privacy, confidentiality within ANTSA, I do use and the thing that we haven't mentioned yet is the time saver for us, the AI scribe. So that's another part of ANTSA. We added that in because ANTSA is meant to be just all inclusive. It is meant to be the whole package. Like that's what we designed it to be. I'm a problem solver. That's what I do. Kira is also a problem solver as well. And as I said, I've got, family members that, a psychologist as well. We want to solve a problem. We want to make our lives as easy as we can. Busy private practices, as I said, Kira in Sydney, me in Melbourne. We're busy with our work. We love our work. We're passionate about it. And so, but we also want to make it easier because the amount, all of the amount of report writing that we have to do is just onerous at times, absolutely onerous. So AI family member said, well, why don't you do a scribe? I went, okay, okay. So that's how that started. The great thing about the templates, I'm a clinical psychologist. Kira's a psychologist. We created the templates, so they're for us. I've had a look at other, or not had a look at, but I've heard about others that are not necessarily made for psychology or mental health. So they're a little bit different to some of ours, but this is what I've done. So I've got the GP referral template, the re-referral template. I work with Open Arms, or Open Arms Bupa. So they have a template that they have. So I've put one of those in there because I figure that's what I use. So if you want to use it as well.
Well, just to show people, should we show the video of what?
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kira.
Yeah, did you have a question about that as well, David? Just in like wanting to we'll show the AI scribe?
Yeah, I think just whilst you're getting it up, like I think maybe it's good to take a moment to regroup just about overall the main features because I think, Jamie is probably one of the, the more popular ones and probably one that you spent a lot of time and energy developing, but is also, the homework allocation, the assessments, and the scribe as well. Some of the other main sort of features I just thought it's worth putting it all together, sort of what you're getting with ANTSA.
Thank you, David. Yeah, absolutely. Because the one, Jamie and the AI scribe are the two most popular ones. You're absolutely right. But that's actually not even where we started. That's not what started ANTSA. So thank you for bringing me back to the origins of ANTSA. It was about the homework tasks. So when I had my hip replacement, there was, I was seeing, there was a physio involved, and the physio sent me reminders to do my exercises, and there were some videos along with that, or handouts, that kind of thing, but it was all, remember, it was COVID, and so all of these things were sent through technology, and there were reminders to do it. So I would get reminded, do this hip exercise. And I said, that was kind of the start of it all, really, as I mentioned earlier, because I said to my family, wouldn't it be great if I had something like that for my clients? And that's exactly where the very first concept of ANTSA came from, was thinking about how do I notify my clients about doing homework tasks? And there was, I'm sure we've all had them, but this client that was constantly coming back saying, oh, I was going to do that homework, or I meant to do it, or I was going to do a breathing exercise, or whatever the task was, but I forgot, or I forgot how to do it, or and you'd this was during the COVID period, so you'd email the handouts or whatever, but I didn't have my, I couldn't see it on my phone, and I didn't have my computer, and I couldn't print it, and all those things that people just forget, but they forget. And gosh, I knew I had my appointment today, so I looked and I realized I've not done these homework tasks. So Kira's put up here, this is the back end of our ANTSA platform. So this is what you as a practitioner have. And just to explain, because I had two other emails again today, people are saying, why can't I do why can't I play around with Jamie in the back end, because everyone wants Jamie, and you have to allocate to a client. So the the clinician doesn't get Jamie, it's the client that gets Jamie. So when you start ANTSA, the first thing I did was created my own fake, pretend client of myself. And that's what I said on my phone. I am a client with my Jamie there. But anyway, so in the back end, so what we did was created, oh, sorry.
No, sorry, you go.
So what in the back end, what we did was created like it was 4 main categories. Now we have Jamie, so there's 5, but 5 categories, sorry. No, activities, activities, questionnaires, journals, videos. So they're the 4 categories that people have. We now have AI, but that wasn't there in the beginning. So under activities, thank you, Kira, there's a number of different topics. So behavioral, CBT, children and teens. So any of those topics that any of you, are interested in. And then there's a list, as you can see in the second column, a list of some strategies that I've made up or, people have sent me or whatever. So so clicking on breathing, there's, it just shows you what that activity is. Now, if I want to assign my client that, so we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. So if I want to assign my clients, so I will have John Ross. He'll have a homework task. I'm going to assign him something. So I might go to activities. It might be a behavioral one. Now you can see there, before we go, you can see there's general tasks and there's my own tasks. Now, one of the benefits of ANTSA is that you can create your own. If you don't like any of mine, great. Don't use them. Make up your own. So there's lots of people that are, and this, it will only be on your dashboard. That's not everyone's dashboard. So these are on everyone's dashboard. So one that I've created, but you can have your own. So you want to have your own CBT activity? Great. Create it. So you go back to where the homework was there, new homework up the top, then you create your own, is an activity journal, whatever it is that you want to do, and you do your own, name it yourself. So you can create your own or use one of mine, whatever you want to do. So
maybe also, Sally Ann, maybe I'll just make a note there that the fact that you can set the time, will that make it come up for the person on their device to make it more likely to actually happen?
Yes, thank you. So so Kira's going to assign a CBT task. So she's going to pull it over to the side. Now, there's options here. If you want John Ross to do the activity once, that's fine. You can say which day or date you want. Most of mine, actually, except the questionnaires, most of mine are custom. So I go to custom. I'll usually repeat every day. It might be once a week, might be another option. Start date will probably be today, or whatever date. I can either allocate the activity, once or 5 times, or I can send an end date, which is why I was saying before, I always set an end date for Jamie. Might be the end of the month or end of next month. And that's when my clients say, you forgot to allocate it again. Reminded times, you choose the time. It can be, any number, any time there, whatever suits them. So consult your client. They might say, 3:32 p.m. is a great time, then that's what you put in. So whatever time suits them, it doesn't have to be on an o'clock or anything. Yeah, there we go, 3:32 p.m. And then you just add it, and you can add any other homework tasks as well. So let's go to the questionnaires. So you can do like a DAS. There's a DAS 21.
Do you get a notification when the client does the homework task as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're allocating. Thank you, David. We'll show you that in a moment. So a journal, we might do a miscellaneous, maybe. Oh, doesn't matter. Yeah, miscellaneous. The general tasks, we go in there. Gratitude journal, great. Again, decide when that's going to be done. We'll just click yes. Videos. Now this part, I love this. Now with the videos, now Kira being a psychologist, she's made some of the videos. So some of them are like of her doing a breathing exercise or whatever. There's room for a lot more of those. We don't have a lot of breathing exercise of the videos. But what we do have, what I have in my version is my own tasks. So every week, or actually once a month, I might just do a 2-minute video in my office with my phone. I will video myself, do something generic like, hey everyone, don't forget to go for a walk, or, have a lovely weekend, or, if you have a long weekend this weekend, have a great time, like something. I'll just talk to them. And then I will bulk assign. So we'll just assign this first. Sorry, Kira. So assign everything there. So now you can see on the left there, John Ross has those 3 activities to do. In answer to David's question, yes, up the top right of the page, there's a bell picture to show notifications. Sorry, Kira. So notifications, so that shows me when someone has completed a task. So I can see that. You can see that there's green dots there. The green dots just say someone's completed a task. A red dot says that there's something for you to look at. Now, it could be because it actually, another form of AI in here measures levels of distress. So it might say mild distress, moderate distress, severe distress. And so a red dot alerts me. So I'll actually click on those. I think this morning I had like 46 red dots on the thing. Most of them were just people completing their homework task or finishing a DAS or whatever they might have done. But I click on the red dots. In addition, a red dot is like could just be a message, because they can message us as well. But sorry, Kira was just showing the psychoeducation as well. Oh, that's sorry. They're the expired tasks, so they didn't do them, or they did. I might have removed some as well. So that's the thing. We can go across to insights in John's thing. There probably isn't any. No, but there's the mood tracker, which is on the very first page. I will show you that in a second. But there's the DAS. I don't know if John Ross has done a DAS. Whoops. No, but the DASs are graphed there, so we can see the graph. Jamie, you can look at Jamie, you can set the dates there to see what John Ross has said to Jamie as well if you want to. And yeah, so what was I just going to share? So the videos, anyway, so I bulk assign videos myself. So it's in my own tasks, and it just gives my clients a prompt. Like it just reminds them to, well, actually to go for a walk or do whatever it is. But a lot of them say, oh my gosh, Sally-Ann, I haven't booked in with you again. Like I've forgotten to, I rescheduled and I haven't done it again. So I'm just going to reschedule now. So they do, they get that interaction. They also feel connected to you. And we all know mental health is all about connection. It's about rapport building and, trust and all that sort of thing. My clients get videos of me every single week, just a minute or two. Sometimes they don't look at them, whatever, that's fine. But they get at least that prompt on their phone that says, video from Sally-Ann or whatever it says on their phone. But going back, sorry, David, you were saying about the notifications. It pops up on their phone.
Yeah.
Shows them exactly what happens. And the DAS, I also get the little dots at the top. It tells me when a DAS has been completed, if that's what I've asked them to do, or whatever questionnaires. If I don't like the questionnaires there, and we are going to start adding more, but if I don't like the questionnaires, I'll just put some of my own in. So it's all customizable. I mean, again, that's one of the things that we wanted to do. I wasn't going to do this. I didn't set out to start a tech company. Like I'm a clinical psychologist. I don't ever plan to retire. I love my job. I love what I do. I love working with people. I will never retire. I will always work. I think that's why 2 of my 4 children became psychologists, because they've obviously got that passion from me, I guess, like not necessarily directly, because none of them child planned on being a psychologist, but 2 of them fell into it. Why is that? It's obviously, they've grown up in a household where it's a passion. It's something that I love. So I will always work. I didn't set out to do this, but I am a problem solver. And there were so many things that weren't, it just wasn't available. And so if it's not, I'm going to make it happen. The psychoeducation, sorry. Oh,
well,
Kira.
I think just while I'm here, it's just easier for me to point to the things. So everyone here and whoever gets the recording, as we've kind of mentioned previously, you'll all get like 60 days free to trial and test this out for yourselves. No credit card required. You just get to have a look around and see for yourself. So all you'll have to do is we'll send the link to the website at the end and join up and just dismiss. It says usually 30 days, but we know who will fact check against everyone's emails. So we'll give you all the 60 days. But I guess, just showing you here, this is what our dashboard looks like. So we have any messages from us, to let you all know if there's any features. We have always a quote of the day, which I like reading, just makes you feel good. Tells you how many active clients you have, any unread messages. And particularly for you, if you wanted to give it a go, we have some little videos that I'll show you in a second of just creating a test client, just a fake one, just to, play around with it, how to use the AI scribe, a bit of a demonstration. But, we want this to be really simple and easy. So even without any of the demos, we have obviously where the clients go, any messages that we might have, because we can send direct messages to the clients. Homework, as Sally Ann went over, all of these things. This AI is where Jamie is assigned. Files, if we wanted to put in mental health care plans for clients, any other documentation. We also have a section for psychoeducation. If a client wants to learn more about it, they just have full access to this at all times. But, these are articles or videos that, little psychoeducation, empowering the clients.
And they are all evidence-based too.
Yes,
And we
all
have
evidence.
permission for all of them, but they are evidence-based. They're not just random. They're from like universities or like
Organizations.
Yeah, organizations with permission.
Yeah. So I think, because there's not too much longer, we'll probably go over the AI scribe. Is that what's best, or
Yeah,
David?
I think that'd be good. That'd be good to do next. Just want to note there was another question from Saga. Can ANTSA be integrated with other practice management systems such as Xander?
The answer is I'm not sure, but I did speak to this tech team about it at one stage, and they said it's actually quite easy to do. That would be our end though, and we haven't. The answer is no, not yet. But I think that will be something coming up in the near future as well. So again, on the roadmap, as it were, that is something that we will be looking at. It's not difficult. We set this whole platform up to be scalable, and one of the things that we talked about today is that it had to be simple, every part of it. Like it's just a couple of clicks, and you'll see the AI scribe in a minute that Kira will show you. It's just it's a click. It's a click. It had to be, as I said to you earlier, I've not used a lot of technology myself. I'm in an older age bracket, obviously, because I've got, this is my baby. So, I've got lots of children and grandchildren. So this is not, I didn't grow up with computers, or phones. You get smart. Maxwell Smart was probably the closest to any kind of technology that I ever saw. So, I just wasn't familiar with it. So we wanted to do it just a couple of clicks. So Kira can show you how to do that.
Yeah. So we'll get to, this is just a little video that helps. It's 45 seconds long, so I'll play this for you all just to see.
After signing in, go to the menu and click on Sessions. It will then ask you to grant access to your microphone. Use the client drop-down to enter a test name. There is no need to create a full client profile, just type in any name. Click Start Listening to begin recording, then start speaking. You can pause or end the session at any time. Once the session ends, the AI will automatically convert your audio into text. Now, click Choose a template. For this example, I've selected Progress Notes. This will structure your transcript into a professional format. Finally, click Generate to transform your audio to text transcription into a fully customizable AI-powered document to download.
And that was as simple as that is.
Now, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say what I really love about this, because you read that, there's sometimes issues like people that don't know if their session's recorded or not. I had the same issue with our AI scribe in the beginning. you get to the end of the session, just keep your fingers crossed. Like, did it work? Please let it have worked. I still, was handwriting as well. But you can see the squiggles. I love that part. You can see if it's not hearing someone, like sometimes I might have it set. There you go. Yeah, the
I was
squiggles.
just making it move with the squiggles.
Yeah, so if it's not moving, and so Kira's got her headphones on, she hasn't clicked on the button to do it with headphones, obviously, but if she had, it would squiggle and you'd see both like both of the voices going. So in terms of the pausing it as well, you can pause it if someone goes to the bathroom or something, or whatever happens. And then, sorry, Kira, you keep going.
Well, I was going to say, because I know a lot of people also had questions whether we can add other sessions to it to generate reports, which we can. So these are previous sessions, so we can load them as well. And then it comes up here. So I'll load a few sessions. Another question that was asked was whether you can put audio in there, and you can put an external audio file if you want. So now that we've got these 3 sessions up, I will choose a template. We can do this full range of templates that we have, but you can also create your own because we want this to be, as we've said, really customizable. So I'll do a GP initial report. It's got all of these tabs up here, and then we'll just click the generate button. So this is where it will generate all of the sessions together, and it will just come out as a PDF document that you'll then be able to save and send and do whatever we need to do with it. Obviously, because I have 4 reports, it just took a few seconds. So here's kind of the information that it has, but this is where I export it as a PDF.
Or you can copy it and turn it into a Word document if you prefer. It's up to you what you want to do with it. But yeah, I export them straight into my clients' files.
And so it will come up with what it needs to, and your provider number and everything's already in there. So it has that information. So yeah, we wanted to make it really simple and easy. And as some people have asked, does this add to our workload? Does ANTSA, we want it to be a one-stop shop where you have homework, psychoeducation, messaging functions, AI, but it doesn't add to anything. As Sally Ann uses in her practice and mine, maybe 5 minutes before the client comes, we'll have a look if they've done their homework, or even in the session, like, let's go over your homework tasks. How did you manage your breathing this week? So it's not adding to it. We don't do anything outside of work hours. It's so that the client feels supported between sessions, but then we also don't have to do all of this report writing. It's been, for me, I'm an early career psychologist. It has been game-changing. I don't know how anyone else did it before AI, Scribes or Jamie, and knowing that my clients are supported between sessions, it's been, it's
Sorry, Andrew, your question there. I don't know if you saw, but some of those sessions were 0 seconds. They weren't real sessions. So that's you said it was only one. It appeared one session. There was really only one there. So, but it pulls it together. I actually did one today. I had to do a 6-session report today. And it pulled all 6 sessions in and spoke about all of them. But yeah, so good question.
Yeah, sorry, this is just a dummy
it's
one.
Not a real thing, but yeah, good observation.
Yeah. I might also just point out for anyone who's fairly new to AI, just that it really is that easy and click, 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 as Sally Ann sort of mentioned there, to go from having a recording that was a click to start and get off the ground, hitting stop, and then having the note generated according to your template. There is, only moments of preparation, moments of figuring out your templates, and then it is all, really just that quick. And then, you don't need to worry about like your headings in the template dictating your session, because the AI technology is smart enough to understand the content of the sessions and be able to organize it in accordance to how you would ordinarily do your session notes. So you still bring your clinical voice. You'll still be bringing how you see best a note and report being able to be generated, and the AI technology can just so quickly and easily apply that to the audio and the transcript.
And I saw another question just came through. Sorry, what was that question?
What assessments can we send to clients? That was
Oh,
from Vicky.
yeah. So any of the ones that we have on there, we're going to continue adding them. But you can make up your own. There's the DASs there. Yeah, the DASs. Obviously, none of the ones that are copyright, so you can't have any of the Becks. I don't think any of the I don't think anyone can use the ones that are copyright, but certainly those that are accessible. K10 is in there as well. There's a few different things there as well, but you can put your own in, so you can make it your own questionnaires. So yeah, whatever you want to do. It's a patient health questionnaire. So that we just put in a few, but that's one of the things that we're going to start doing now, is increasing the amount of questionnaires that are in there, because people are asking. So we'll do it from our end, then everyone has it. And yeah, go from there. So great question.
So I guess maybe we'd encourage, users to be in touch with suggestions in this respect, because I think it's really not that difficult to add another assessment, add another homework task, add another template. It's really so seamless these days. So would encourage users to be in touch.
Yeah, send us if there's something that you want us to put in, just send it to us or ask us. And it's simple. It's so simple to do. Creating the templates, if you want to make your own AI scribe template, that's really easy to do as well. So you can create them for yourself within the program if you don't happen to like any of ours, or you can change any of ours in your dashboard. That you want, or you can create your own. I know that some people in some of the other AI scribes are just going to ChatGPT and creating them as well. So, you can, but I've done the ones, I guess, that I probably think are important, or that Kira uses as well. So yeah, whatever, if anyone has something that they think needs to be added, or you want to add your own, then go for it. It's really that simple. We wanted our platform to be able to be used by someone like me, basically. Someone who didn't need to have to think about it, doesn't have to have a great tech background. I needed it to be simple, just a few clicks, straightforward, intuitive, and that's what we did. And the other thing too, I just want to highlight, because it's pretty much, close to time. There's a lot of people that are worried about AI replacing us. No, I just told you, I will never retire. I will always work as a psychologist till the very bitter end. It's I didn't create this to replace me at all. What this does is enhances what I do. It enriches my practice. It helps my clients remain engaged. It helps them. They love using the the various things. As I said, Jamie seems to be the most popular thing that we have, but lots of the others. There's journal writing as well. There are some people that are choosing. I've got a few clients that'll say, you know what, I was going to talk to Jamie, but I decided to do like a journal first, because I didn't want Jamie to calm me down. I wanted to stay angry. So I love that. Good for them. But basically, Jamie is probably the most popular part there. I can't live without the DAS. I shove the DAS off to people all the time, and that's nicely graphed in the back end as well. And it's all together. It's all within their folder. Like my client file is there. So if I have what was it, Hugo Ross there, if Hugo Ross has done the DAS over the last 12 months, he's done it 6 times or whatever I might have done. That's all in there, all together. I don't have to click any other buttons. I just click on DAS, like history, and it's there. Like, it's just brilliant. I don't know how I would do my practice these days without ANTSA. I mean, I guess you'd expect me to say that because I created it, but I created it from a need. I didn't create it because I wanted to create a digital platform. I created it because these are the things that I needed in my practice to help me to be a better psychologist. So it's not replacing me, it's enhancing what I do and enhancing the experience for clients. It's saving me time with the scribing. It's a honestly, it's a win. Yeah, I'm so grateful for my family and the support from everyone. So thank you, Kira, and everyone else.